Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hammer Podcast. Today is December 20th, 2020, and I'm speaking with George. George went to the Agape. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were trying to stop me. That's okay.
Oh,
That's fine. George went to the Agape Boys Ranch from 2019 to 2020, fairly recently. So, and we're
yeah.
going to go ahead and give it right over to George. Oh, by the way, before we do that, make sure you subscribe to the channel. The channel is growing. That way we can get more people viewing these podcasts. All right. So, George, you go right ahead. Floor is yours, my friend.
Hi, my name is George. I was a student at the boarding school Agape. I was there for a brief time, about 8 months. When I first got there, they took me to this room. I was with my parents, and they did the introduction, told us how the school had burnt down, and how what it was going to look like from there on out. And so after that, they took me down to the intake room, as they call it, and they basically strip searched me, but left the underwear, and made sure I had no contraband there. And
I know a few guys got the old body cavity search, if you know what I'm saying. I guess.
the staff was told on how well you worked with people, if you were violent and whatnot, and depending on that was the amount of how many people would be there for your intake.
Okay.
I had gotten in a fight and had been smoking weed, which I still do. Medical now.
Yeah.
Trauma. And so I deal with anxiety. I absolutely hate yelling and like intense conflict because of everything there, and I just can't stand it anymore. I don't dream anymore because of Agape. There's a lot of neglect, and it's very weird. It's a very weird place. It causes you to have a lot of weird dreams there, but it's not. It's hard to explain.
Did you have nightmares shortly after leaving Agape, and then they just basically just went away?
No, I started having nightmares now whenever I dream, which is rare. It's usually about the boarding school, usually the dean of students.
I wonder who that could be. Yeah. Julio. Yeah.
That we were chill. I had a good time there, but I had a bad time there too. When things got really bad, was when I first got there. I was suicidal. I wanted to kill myself. I was thinking, damn, I actually got to the point where my parents put me in a boarding school. I couldn't believe it. And I can't believe that they took me out either. Months after, I still can't believe it.
You mean that they took you out?
Yesterday was a year I've been out. Today's have been the first day I have been out for a year.
Okay. All right. So you get to the intake. Did they shave your head?
They did shave my head. I did have wild, untamed hair, kind of how it is now. But I'm trying to get it cut. But they shaved my head multiple times. I just did what they said because I didn't want to get in any more trouble because was basically sent there on court order, even though they kept saying they don't accept students on court order anymore and whatnot. After the intake room, they threw all my stuff in a bag, and I had to carry it to the dining hall.
Okay.
And it was about lunchtime when I had gotten there, uh, and I went to go eat with my buddy. Uh, he told me kind of, and that's kind of how things works. You basically, the way you get by is you behave, you do what you're told. The people who quote unquote resisted the program didn't listen to the people above them, and they would argue, not eat. If you didn't eat, you would go to scrubs, and that's bad.
Browntown.
Yeah.
Browntown. I've heard many stories about Browntown.
Oh, when I was in an orange shirt, uh, that's when it was really bad. When my depression, I had been dating someone for about a year, uh, and we stayed together. She stayed loyal to me. She didn't cheat on me or anything like that. And that's one thing that they would drill into your head, that your girlfriend's out there screwing your best friend. Just think how that does to a teen guy's head.
Yeah, well, think of what it does to a teen who's already having issues with
Right.
suicide and everything else like that.
Yeah.
It almost seems like they were trying to get you to attempt it, maybe so they could, slam you on the ground and restrain you. You know how they love to do that. They're very sadistic about that.
Um, there was a student there. He tells a lot of stories. I'm not sure if they're true or not, but he said that he would get slammed and restrained, but he wouldn't scream or anything, or like he wouldn't give them a reaction. And what he said is the dean of students said, "What the heck?" or "What the hell?" Because he didn't do anything. He wanted a reaction,
Right.
like a big old bully.
He was interfering on Julio's pleasurable experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't as pleasurable as Julio thought. This
No.
this person wouldn't have his first name wouldn't happen to start with a B, would it?
No, it wouldn't have happened. It'd
Okay.
be.
All right.
Uh,
We'll leave it there. There's somebody I was thinking about, but okay.
there's a few people that came to mind when you said that. There was one student who was stuck in scrubs for months for no reason. He said, the dean of students said that he had to stay scrubs until the rapture happened, or until he left. And now the student is a burgundy shirt, which makes that him a liar.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. They're liars, George, and they're not Christians. These people are not Christians.
When I first got out, my mom told me that they had said that my parents had no respect for the school. Well, my adoptives had no respect for the school or anything like that, and that they uh, just didn't care for the program or anything like that.
Coming if that was coming from Agape, your parents should take that as a compliment.
Right.
Yeah.
They
Fuck.
they I haven't brought up much to them. I've been trying to tell them now more that I'm more comfortable with everything talking about it. Um, they're the boarding school changed me for the better. Better, I think. I am an open book, mostly about my past. Uh, I tried to avoid some topics, but not everyone wants their whole past read about them. So,
That's true. That's true. Uh,
uh,
so You get there, so your first couple of weeks you're with your buddy.
Yeah. And then I punched a guy because he was saying stuff like you're gonna get yourself killed, stuff like that. And I wasn't doing anything. I was just running. I was a cross country runner, so I was faster than the rest of them. And they kept telling me to slow down, and I was slowing down. They kept telling me speed up, so I sped up, and I was getting tired, and so I just stayed one constant pace. I started ignoring them, and then I just snapped. I turned around, cracked the guy in the head, and got into self-restraint because I didn't want to get slammed. And
Okay.
then I was buddyless, kinda, for about another month.
Did they put you in Browntown?
They made me brown status.
So
And
so you get that those delicious, succulent, savory peanut butter sandwiches and cardboard
well,
cereal.
I could eat the cereal and the peanut butter sandwiches. It's the bean paste. I can't stand bean paste.
Bean
It
paste?
Yeah, bean burritos. Just bean cold frozen bean paste basically. It
Yeah.
makes you could be days or weeks old. They'll give it to you still. They don't care.
Yeah. Ah,
Um
that's terrible.
Everything there is based on assumption. What and I agree with what Julio said. 90% of the law is based on perspective.
Oh,
He kept saying that during my stay, and I agree with that but there wasn't enough evidence for him to be doing stuff like one time while I was brown status, we were doing an exercise, and he said I was trying to kick him when I was just trying to keep my balance, and he shoved me down. I've seen guys get thrown against walls in Browntown, shoved, picked up, and thrown down. Uh,
how many guys do you when you were there? How many of them? Kind of a rough number. How many were in Browntown?
about all of them at least once. Generally, less amount the higher the rank. I made it to a sergeant. I was a group leader for a while. Uh,
Hmm.
but they would step on us while we were doing leg lifts or sit-ups. Brother Duncan, one of the Browntown staff, very harsh and everything, very mean, but he's also very nice. You can be friends with them, or they could be your greatest enemy, basically. But you got to behave to be friends with them, basically.
Yeah, you have to do what they say.
You got to act like a drone, autopilot.
I gotcha.
Uh, During my stay, I participated in multiple camps, which one of them, a student did break his arm. I'm not sure if you've heard about that rodeo camp event.
No, I
Uh,
haven't.
Someone did break their arm, and they still do the thing. They still do rodeo camp. They still have children ride their, well, not children, but people ride bulls. They are signing contracts so they can't get sued, but still,
Yeah.
uh, very, very fun, but very dangerous.
Did you participate? Did you ride the bull as well?
I did.
Okay. Did you make the 8 seconds?
I did not. I looked 3:30.
At least you stayed on for that many seconds.
I made it for 35 to get into the rodeo. You
There you
get
go.
the qualifying time.
That's good. That's good. Because usually I've
Yeah.
seen some guys that as soon as the gate opens up, the bull kicks once. They're right off that bull. So yeah, you
Right.
made it 3 seconds. It's pretty good. Not bad
He
for
made
an
the guy,
amateur. So
the guy that broke his arm made it longer than anyone else. So he can take that home on his back.
yeah, yeah. You can write that on his cast. Sure.
uh, but then, nearing the end of my stay, I had stopped receiving letters from my parents and stopped receiving calls. And I thought, well, I might have upset them, so they're not going to talk to me. And I just kept doing what I was told. Did get sent to Browntown multiple times because I would either get a count wrong, so then I would be truant, and they would just send me to Browntown for no reason.
Yeah. Just the pettiest things.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I'm sure, the problem is you guys don't have access to phones unless they tell you that you have access to them. Okay.
Yeah.
But the staff, they have access. So it doesn't take much for them to call up your parents and say, look, your son is being an idiot. He's doing this, he's doing that, you know, just to get a rise out of him, just to anger him.
Right.
And the thing is with Agape, what I've noticed doing a lot of interviews with these guys from Agape is Agape will turn the parents against the sons. That's one of their MOs. That's the thing they love to do. Turn
Unless
family against family. It's terrible.
unless you don't anything bad about the school and you just say the good things, everything behind the curtain.
Oh, sure. Sure. You know, that's they're trying to brainwash you is what they're trying to do.
You know what? They said that too.
Actually, I take that back. They're not brainwashing you. It takes a smart person to brainwash you. They try to use mind control on you. Is what they try to use.
That better actually, yeah.
Yes. Yes.
They make you a mindless servant basically. Do their bidding.
Yep.
Uh,
Something needs to be done. Get the guys to do it. Rocks need to
yeah,
be moved. Holes need to be dug. Get the guys. Get the guys to do it. Don't get the staff. Get the guys.
right? And well, the thing is, so while I was there, I went on a lot of work crews, and that's the thing. You get special treatment when you're on a work crew. That's why it was good for me. I had the cream of the crop, as some would say. Uh, they would take you out to food, like restaurants, get you pop or something. You'd be lucky sometimes. Um, and but you had to be a certain rank for that.
It's funny you should say that about the pop, because I'm sure you're very familiar with Lester Roloff because that was their idol, the evangelist, and he abhorred pop soda. It was a sin, and so they're going against their own guy. So
Yeah,
anyway, it's the little things, you know what I mean?
it's the little things, and it's petty, it's stupid.
Right. So you're on this
And
work. When you were on this work crew, what were you doing? Were you?
I would put in stakes in the ground, stuff that I was used to because I grew up on a horse rescue. Uh, Nothing too hard, but the neglect there. I had sprained my ankle, well, re-sprained my ankle on my first work crew. They just gave me Benadryl and ice. No brace. Then I re-sprained it again. Benadryl and ice. Then again, Benadryl and ice. And then for football camp, Benadryl and ice. Same ankle each time. And now my ankle pops like it shouldn't. It's kind of like a permanent swell, but not too bad. and it hurts after I run.
What was the first name of this so-called medical guy?
Brother Dumar.
Okay. It's nice to know that he has MD in front of his name. No, he doesn't. He's not a doctor. They should have taken you to a doctor. They should have taken you to a clinic or something to get your
The
ankle
well,
examined.
I would ask to be taken to a doctor. They wouldn't. I would ask to be taken to a dentist because I started having holes form in my teeth even though I was still brushing. So uh, I just kept getting asked go to the dentist. They said that they talked to my parents and that they talked to a dentist and get it set up. Months passed and I still hadn't gone to a dentist, and the hole was just getting bigger.
Yeah, yeah. Dentists are important. So, and of course, did you go?
No,
Eventually, you didn't go.
no.
Okay.
I left the boarding school before I could go, and then about a couple weeks later, my adoptives took me to the dentist.
Now I know that whenever you go to the hospital, when you're there, it they they foot the bill to your parents, basically.
I figured
So
they.
yeah, and it's bad enough they're raping the parents out of money for tuition.
Right,
$3,200 or $3,500 a month? That's ridiculous.
right, and I didn't get a single credit out of that. School sucks for me now because they were doing like fifth grade level because I'd forget stuff that was taught to me in the past, not stuff I need to learn for the future.
Right, right.
And
Is that the ACE program?
yeah,
Yeah, garbage, garbage.
I didn't. I barely learned a single thing.
But you basically were reading comics, is what you were doing.
Yeah, basically.
That's what they
Um,
are. Yeah.
yeah.
So fifth grade level. Uh, so when you left there, did you go for your GED or did you what did you
Currently
do?
enrolled. I went to a high school, a public high school. That didn't really work out because once COVID hit, I kind of just immersed myself in work, and uh, school was always harder because I don't know what happened. Stuff was more confusing. I started failing tests when I knew I was studying for them. I knew everything, but after the boarding school, I haven't been a good test taker. I haven't been doing very good academic wise. I'm currently enrolled in a online school, which I enrolled myself.
Well, that's good. At least you're trying to get the high school diploma. That's good. That's good because obviously fucking Agape wasn't doing shit. You know.
Nope.
Yep. That's I gotta I gotta hand it to Agape. You know the old I don't know if you've heard the old saying the Midas touch. You ever heard of that saying?
I have not.
No, Midas touch. There was a guy named Midas back in the old days. Is a story that he talked to one of the gods and he wanted everything that he touched to turn to gold. Well, of course, you know he was granted that wish and everything he touched turned to gold. And he accidentally touched his wife one time and turned her to gold. But anyway, these people have the absolute opposite of that. Everything they touch just turns to complete shit. So yeah, uh, people come out of there more ignorant, more dumber. They come out there. I mean, not dumber as in mind wise. I'm talking about school wise, education wise. Um, their mind is screwed up. Some more than others, and like you said, nightmares happening.
Yeah.
That psychological abuse, man, is nothing to screw with. You know what I mean? Because
No.
that
I.
that can
I.
last a lifetime. Yes.
And I mean that's kind of from abuse in my past and whatnot, and from mental abuse from adoptives. I'm not sure if they've realized it or anything like that, but they've kind of pushed me away. But now that there's distance between us, we're kind of coming closer. It's weird, like
Well,
how
at least you and your adoptives are trying to come to some sort of common ground. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because
I
our
don't
yeah. Go ahead.
schools right now, so
Okay.
I'm with my aunt and uncle. Completely different family. Met them not very long after I moved out from my adoptives.
Are
So
are these? You said it was your aunt and uncle?
my biological aunt and uncle,
Okay,
yes.
biological. Okay, all right. Well, that's good. That's good. So you're there. Would you say 8 months or something like that? Uh, did you see any abuse happening to any other kids? Slamming, punches, kicking, anything like
Uh,
that?
I've seen people slammed. I haven't seen anyone punched. I've been shoved slash kicked down. Uh, Most of the abuse is in Browntown, where there's neglect from not being able to use the bathroom, not having the proper nutrition, not having proper water uh, intake, and it's hell. I couldn't go to the bathroom for like 2 days there
Well,
because it just my body wouldn't process any of the food.
well, not only that, if you're given small amounts of water, you,
Right,
just dehydration sets in.
right,
So with dehydration, you can't pee, you can't shit. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because your body's not doing it.
Well,
But
I overheard the staff talking, and what they do is they have the oats. What's it called?
toasted oats.
Yeah, toasted oats. Um, it's high fiber, so that's what they do to help make you shit.
That doesn't help. You need
No,
water. You need water as well. That's the thing is, what do they say? 8 glasses of water a day. That's the minimum. You know what I mean? You need water. If you're drinking half a glass of water a day and nothing else, yeah, that could be dangerous.
take 3 seconds to drink water.
Yeah. Oh, that was out
One,
there. That was out there in the work cruise, right?
three. No, that's everywhere basically. If you're at the drinking fountain, unless you are above brown or academic blues, which is brown too, but you don't go to Browntown.
So what you get? 5 seconds instead of three?
No, you still get the
Oh.
same amount. It's just you don't get sent to Browntown. You
Oh,
get
okay.
Brown. Uh, you just go to school because it's academic.
I got you. I got you. So showers. Were you guys
Showers. They while I was there, they changed the showers to curtain. The shower doors to shower curtains, and uh, shower bay. You had to be silent. For some reason, every bay I was in was awful. They just kept getting push-ups every single day, and I was just minding my own business, doing what I was told. They talk about a lot of justice, but I call that injustice.
Yeah. Well, they usually make everybody pay for one person's mistake.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. This isn't the military.
No,
You know what I mean? This is a boarding school where you're supposed to be getting taught, you're supposed to be getting educated. You know what I mean?
the driver's ed program. I don't have my license because of them, basically. So I'm struggling there because of COVID.
That's another thing. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah,
so you say you don't have your driver's license?
I do not.
So what do you need? I mean, do you need to get an ID basically or
My state ID and my medical ID.
okay. So once you get that, you'll be able to get your
Well,
driver's. or at least take
Yeah.
the test.
Well, I've passed segment 1 and segment 2 of driver's ed. I have my permit. I just need to take the test. And I can't do that because of COVID right now.
Yeah.
They're stacked. The Secretary of State is stacked all the way to January and what.
Yeah, this COVID hoax is really taking a toll on a lot of people. Yeah. Yeah, people are losing everything, not being able to do what they need to do because of this COVID.
Right. Think how many people are making like billions of dollars off of like $3 masks that they're making.
Yeah.
They're selling 17, $20.
And being with the people are really having too much money nowadays because of this COVID thing. I'm amazed that Agape hasn't tried to lower their tuition price. But I wouldn't put it past them. They're a greedy bunch of assholes anyway, so they're probably going to raise their price.
After out of the boarding school, the main realization that I've come to is all the world cares about basically now is greed. Greed there, greed everywhere. Everyone is expendable. If they're not making me money, bye. That's how the world is. That's how I see it.
That's what a lot of brainwashed Christians, and I'm not saying all of them, but a majority of them, that's what they're not getting. Religion, whether it's Baptist, Catholic, whatever, is a business. It's a money-making machine. They don't give two shits about your soul. They don't give a shit if you're living on the street. They want your money. They need money. That's how it is. And until people realize that, these places are going to continue to thrive.
Yep. And
I mean, what other place, George? What other place can you get 10% of somebody's income and do absolutely nothing? Besides the IRS, of course. But, someone comes in, you tell them a story for 15, 20 minutes, and then they give you 10% of their income. Wow. Man. Sounds like a racket. Maybe something I should be in.
And the staff there, they'd be saying that they only get like $10 wages. They get bad pay. And we would be told that staff leaves, that some staff would leave because of pay. And others just didn't agree with, or not uncle, with Brother Brian.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of them left because they probably saw a lot of abuse going on and they were threatened when they tried to stop it or say something. That's plausible.
But then why wouldn't they say anything?
Because they probably have a non-disclosure agreement.
True.
So I'm sure once this non-disclosure agreement ends, then they're going to come out and sing like a bird. So, but
I would say their style would be good for a boot camp, not a boarding school. Boot camps are more understandable if they're licensed, because it's more like military base and it's for correctional. And I understand that Agape is quote unquote a correctional facility, but they shouldn't use it as a boarding school. They should use it as boot camp, more something that's towards reform and not towards like a school where you're supposed to get things done and work on yourself.
Right.
Because I didn't get anything done. They should allow jobs at a boarding school and whatnot.
So instead of working on your school, that was, ACE pace things. I mean, I guess if that's all you got, that's all you got. They made you work instead.
Well, I tried to go out to work because that's what I was used to. It's what I could do.
Right.
And they have a vocational program to where if you get all your paces to a certain level, you can just go out and earn your credits through working instead of actual schoolwork.
Well, that sucks. Because even if let's say you were to go through the whole program, the whole ACE PACE program, and you make it to the 12th grade PACE, if you decide to leave before you graduate, you're going to be stuck back down at 10th grade level, basically. You
Basically.
know, so basically, in other words, if they say, hey, you got a work program instead of doing your paces, we'll do the work program. Still sweat off their balls. You know what I mean? Because they're getting free work out of you, and
Right.
the pace program is shit already. So what do they care? They're getting their money from your adoptives. They're getting
Yeah.
money from everybody else. Who gives a shit? You
Stuff
know?
done.
Yeah, that's how it's done. And
I
they
would praise them about is their animal care. Sorry, but I'm an animal person. They
sure.
take their animals. They make sure they're all healthy. Except for the horn clipping. I'm not too fond about that. Though I might be a little biased because one of the horns were freshly clipped and I had cow blood or bull blood all down my leg.
And I can guarantee you, George, if one of those bulls had a rotten tooth, they would be calling the veterinarian immediately.
Yeah.
And you had a bad tooth that needed to go to the dentist. You were treated worse than the animals. You know?
Yeah.
That's sad. That's
It
sad.
is. It's sad that people have to go through or end up going through abuse like this and no one knows about it. And
And it's not
after
and it's not
they,
just yeah, it's not just that, George. It's the fact that, like I said, your parents or adoptives or whoever are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on this program, right? Only to have that person come out of the program worse than they went in. Okay, first of
correct.
all, they're uneducated or they're behind. So now they have to spend thousands more to either get that person back on track educationally or to find some sort of therapist or counselor to help them out.
And they're still spending
And
thousands and
there's
hundreds of dollars.
yes, yes, that reeks. That's bullshit.
Absolutely. And what else is bullshit is sorry,
It's all right.
is that they they do they say that they do research, and I'm not even sure my parents did their research because if they did, all this stuff would show up. Uh, but they were saying that Agape is going to be a good place. I'm gonna stay caught up on schoolwork, and it's going to help me change. Uh, and I guess it did help me change. All my friends, or old friends, I should say, said that I've changed. I'm not the same person I was, and I lost all my friends.
Yay to Agape. Wow. It just, you know, I have yet to hear something positive about this place. Yet. I haven't heard anything.
The
Nothing.
camps are. There's your positive.
The what?
The camps are fun. There's your positive.
Well, one positive and 1,000 negatives.
Yeah.
I wouldn't send my kid there, but I think what happened. See, what happened is their marketing. They're really really good at marketing. They've been doing this 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Okay, since '91 or something like that.
Yeah. Something like that.
And of course, being that they're spending ungodly amounts of money on for Google to put them right at the top. So if you put in Agape, first one on the top, Agape boarding school.
Yep.
And of course, some people, and you know how the internet works. Some people, they're looking for something. They see the first one, they click on it.
Yep.
They won't scroll. They won't go to the next page. They're just going to click on the first thing they see. So, were your adoptives very religious? Did they go to church or anything
No,
like that? No.
guess what? Right after, they took me straight to a Cajun bar. Not even a day out of the boarding school, they took me to a Cajun bar and drank beer and alcohol right in front of me.
Well, I was going to say that they hear it from one of their Christian friends, but I guess that's a no.
They were swearing in front of me. They swore at the board. Well, yeah, they swore at the boarding school while there, and they would joke about giving uh, push-ups to each other because they would swear like 500 push-ups for swearing.
Who are you talking? Are you talking about your adopted parents? Or are you talking about the staff?
My adopted parents
Okay.
were would about it, giving each other push-ups for my dad swore, or adopted dad swore while he would during a visit.
Gotcha. All right. So, when you were out of Browntown, as far as the food,
Uh,
was it any good?
the food was delicious up until the first cook left. Then the meals became a lot smaller, a lot more tasteless, not very good.
Hmm.
Got another cook. Meals were still pretty small, but they were more diverse and they're heavily greased, but it has all the stuff on the food pyramid that's needed.
Okay. Now, I know there's a lot of places that won't use salt.
No salt, no pepper, no knives unless it was a uh, special event.
Maybe
Uh,
a butter knife, probably.
nope.
No.
Well, it was a plastic butter knife, but
Ah,
yeah.
we don't want you
So
stabbing anybody.
no, no one was stabbed. There was plastic forks, plastic spoons.
No, I said they don't want you stabbing anybody. Being that
Oh,
all these kids are so troubled and so, you know, their minds are gone. It's like, oh, make sure not put some in their hands because they might stab somebody with it. Or being that we're treating these kids like shit, they might try and stab us in
well,
retaliation.
well, then all the staff would go after you, and you'd face court charges. There was this one guy who kept messing in line when everyone was getting yelled at. I had a fountain pen, uh, and I was surprised that they let it go through. I got my parents to send me a fountain pen, and you know how those are really sharp and pointy.
Yes.
So I was surprised that they wouldn't think, maybe this quote unquote delinquent could use it to stab someone. But he was screwing around in line, and so I just poked him with it in the hand, so he would stop. And he got a write-up sent through, and I just got demoted.
What shirt were you?
I was this burgundy sergeant,
And they demoted you to what?
yellow,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
because I lied. So better than Browntown,
Yeah, I was just about to say that. A lot better than Browntown.
right?
You know, was there anybody? I haven't asked this question to any of the guys, but whenever they would demote you, let's say you get there, you got your buddy and everything, or your guide, whatever they call it, and you get up higher in the ranks. Yellow shirt, burgundy, blue, whatever, and they
Right.
demote you. Let's say to orange. Do you have to?
That's a program.
I'm sorry.
They will demote you back to orange if you don't know the program rules and you don't know the program.
Okay.
I know someone who was in orange shirt 3 or 4 times during my stay.
Now, once you get to let's say they demote you to orange shirt, do you have to get another guide or a buddy?
Yep.
Wow, that sucks.
And you go back to Browntown for orientation.
Oh, it's like starting over again, basically.
It is starting over again. You have to memorize everything. I'm not sure about the packages or anything like that. But you gotta send the first letter through. And yeah,
I wonder if you have to get your head shaved again.
you do. I'm pretty sure.
Well, one thing I can say about these people, George, is they're sadists. Is what they are. Like I told some of the other guys, these guys take absolute pleasure in watching you suffer,
I'm sure of it.
or they take absolute pleasure in inflicting suffering on you.
That's more like it. For people who run Browntown, the students, you know how you're just living there and taking all their shit, dealing with them, and all that frustration builds up. So if you were lucky enough, you would get to go run Browntown with a staff member, uh, and you got to take frustration out on other students. Uh, no, you don't really need a reason. Just you can target someone, they won't care, basically. You can make someone's life a living hell running if you get to run Browntown. And I'll admit it, with all that frustration and anger built up, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
So I get it, and I'm not proud of having fun doing that, but it relieves stress. It's a good stress reliever. Bad, but I understand it, I guess.
Well, it's a great stress reliever. They wouldn't let you do anything else. There's no girls there. They won't let you jerk off. You know what I mean? That kind of
Right.
stuff.
They would on the dorm room. Uh, there was a staff member, Schaefer, who would talk to guys in their while they were in their racks, or they would flip a cover if he thought one of them were jacking off.
Yeah,
And if caught jacking off, I'm pretty sure you go straight to Brown.
ugh.
If you're caught scoping, you go straight to Brown.
What's scoping?
Oh, no one's told you about scoping?
Nobody said anything about scoping.
Okay, during what's it called? The chapel and church. Well, mostly Wednesdays and Sundays, there would be this other boarding school, Wings of Faith, which is basically another Agape boarding school just for females. And they'd sit on the other side. If you get caught scoping or staring at them, you go straight to Brown.
Okay. Yeah. Lusting, as they would call it,
Yes.
which is perfectly normal.
Yeah.
Normal human behavior. They
Yeah.
they don't encourage it.
No, they don't.
So, now, did you have to memorize Bible verses?
You had to memorize Psalms 23, and if you were told to memorize something, like if it was a accountability, you would have to memorize it, or you would get demoted, or you would have some consequence.
Yeah. Oh, this is starting to sound more like the
The roll-off?
roll off schools. Yes, yes,
Hmm.
yeah. And of course it was the King James version, of course.
Yep, I still actually have my Bible from there.
I'm amazed they gave you one.
Yeah, I still have it. I left my like $100 Bible that my parents sent me. I let someone borrow it, and there was this thing: no borrow, lending, or trading, because you could be doing it for sexual favors, etc. And I'm like, that's so stupid. I'm just doing it to be nice.
Yeah.
Isn't one thing about being a Christian, be nice to others and give.
Yeah.
No,
What I don't understand is why in the hell do they always got to go back to the sex thing? You know what I mean? If it's
right.
why is it always sexual favors? Why can't it be, for money or for any other type of favors? But it's always sexual favors.
Well,
Can
we
I,
weren't allowed. That was contraband. You'd go brown for it.
yeah. No trading,
But
no anything like that. Yeah.
yeah, uh, there was a lot of things you could go brown for. Like if you had candy a certain amount of days after your visit, you that would be considered contraband, and you'd go brown.
Oh, so if you went out off off the grounds.
Off campus, or if your parents brought candy or something for a visit. If you had a certain amount of days after your visit, you'd go brown because it'd be considered contraband. And there's other areas where different things are considered contraband as well.
Oh,
So
like what?
on the dorm floor, food. They don't give oranges anymore because people would make jail acid, prison acid. 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
It's all right. Yeah, I've heard about that acid that they make from the orange peels.
Toothpaste and orange peel, and you leave it sitting, and then you eat it, you throw up, then the acid hits you, basically.
Did you hear of anybody say like huffing canned air or brake fluid or cleaner or
No,
anything like that?
I they hired the cook, the second cook that they hired, vaped.
Vaped?
Yeah, he which kind of made me question. Okay, that's pretty weird that they would hire someone that vapes. I mean, like for a correctional boarding school, because someone could go steal it, because he would just leave it sitting out.
Maybe
So
they were trying to trap you. Maybe.
maybe
Maybe.
that's my way to think. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. So punishments. I'm gonna kind of touch on punishments. Um,
Okay.
let's say instead of sending you to Browntown, would they make you, let's say, clean the bathrooms with your toothbrush, maybe, or
I haven't had a punishment like that. Sometimes if you just assumed someone was going out on a work crew, but it was a chore crew instead, they would make you clean toilets or whatnot, but with regular toilet stuff or with a wash rag. But I haven't had, or I haven't had to clean anything with a toothbrush or anything like that.
okay,
I haven't about that.
okay. Um, did you ever meet or see the Clemensons?
I saw brother Brian Clemenson,
Ugh.
and I saw Ma'am Clemenson and her husband. I've
You didn't see Jareth, did you?
I saw him at the 4th of July event.
Of this
When I
year?
No, I wasn't there this year.
Okay,
I
last
out
year.
Saturday before Christmas last year.
Okay, because he's a convicted child molester. He shouldn't be over there for one thing.
Ooh, I didn't know that until I had gotten out.
Yeah.
But Sandoval was talking to him,
Wow.
and so I didn't think any of it
You you,
because
you would think, being that this guy's a convicted child molester, which is the bottom of the barrel for everybody, that a distinguished man like Julio would want to have nothing to do with this guy. But
right,
obviously, he does.
right. Though one thing that they would always say is forgive. And so I feel like with him, how they would be at the boarding school is like, oh, you did this in your past. You've changed. Forgive and forget.
Oh, well
That's
then,
what that's the way they see it. I'm not trying to defend them, but
well, you have to look at it this way. They need to take their own advice because if they're willing to forgive somebody who rapes a 14-year-old girl,
that's
then
absolutely
th-
disgusting.
then if somebody, let's say, uh, takes something or says something like fuck or something like that accidentally, they should be able to just forgive and forget and say, don't do it again. Right?
That's
But
just 500.
right. But what do? They throw you on the ground, beat the shit out of you, and then
That's
they
if you
send you to Browntown.
that's if you resist. If you do your 500 push-ups, then you're fine. Now, sometimes if people didn't do their push-ups, instead of sending them to Browntown, they wouldn't let them eat until they did the push-ups. I know that a student there, he had several hundreds of push-ups and he just wasn't doing them. Uh, and they just wouldn't give him a meal until he did the push-ups. Or until they absolutely had to.
And they're treating child molesters better than they're treating their own students there.
Right. And one thing uh, that Julio would always say is that your parents sent you here for us to raise you. They're not doing a good job of raising the students or anything like that because all they're doing is teaching them yelling and at what Julio likes to do. I absolutely hate being poked now because of it. Is he jams his finger in your chest with all force. It hurts.
Yeah, he's not a small guy.
No,
He's pretty
well,
built.
but he's a built guy.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, like you just said, Julio said that we're here to raise you. Well, if they're raising you like the Clemenson raised his son Jared, you guys are in trouble.
Yeah, oh, boarding school.
Yeah. I don't know. This whole thing stinks of hypocrisy
Yeah,
and two face and lying, deceitfulness, just pure evil. It seems like pure evil. So, but they do it under the guise of Christianity, and that's what they
right.
do.
Do it under God or in the name of God, basically.
Yep. If what they should do, if they want a little truth in advertising on their website, they should put on the very top, Agape Boarding School. We want you to pay $3,500 so we can beat the shit out of your kids. I mean,
That's how.
tell the truth. If you're going to be a Christian, tell the truth.
Right. Be themselves.
Yeah, but they're not. So,
No, they're not.
George,
Yeah.
for any parents that come across this podcast, what would you, being that you were there, what would you say to them?
I wouldn't send your student there unless you've done all your research and you're absolutely sure it's the last resort. That's all.
That's all.
It's got to be a last resort. Even if boot camps won't work, send them there. They got a whole police force waiting to pick you up, basically.
Is the sheriff still working there?
I'm not sure of right now, but when I left, he was. And
Graves. His what?
the sheriff's brother works there too.
I think one of them was married to one of the Clemensons.
I don't know. I never really focused on their lives. One of the sayings there was, "Don't focus on staff." And so ap- because of that, I kind of just let people live their lives now.
All right.
I ask people how their life is unless something's going on. I say, "What's up?" I always I care about people, but I let people live their own lives.
So, in other words, you're saying don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain over there. Don't pay attention to what we're doing. You keep on what you're doing. You know, even if we're
Yeah.
doing wrong, don't worry about it. You just worry about yourself.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I have to call bullshit on that one. So, anyway, George, how are you doing since you left? Are you getting better? Are you?
I am well mentally. Uh it's there. I know I was there. It's not gonna leave my life. Won't forget about it. Um, but it's something that's gonna affect me throughout my life, probably.
Have you been seeing anybody as far as counselor or
No,
therapist or no?
I have the money for it, and honestly, from past experiences, I don't trust therapists. I don't trust counseling. Uh, I have a lot of trust issues, and so
I got you. All right. Well, I mean, you're alive.
I
You
am
know what I mean?
alive.
You have a place to stay. You
I'm
know.
thankful for all the haves I have,
Yes.
uh, and I know that I was lucky to have it easy there. Uh, but I have witnessed some things that people shouldn't have gone through, and there are students who there that are like 12 or 11. If their parents ever come across this, get your son out of there. They don't deserve it,
Yeah.
especially someone that age.
Like I said, when they treat the animals better than they treat their students, there,
Yeah,
that's bad. All right. Well, George, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it.
thank you for having me.
Telling your story. What kind of birds are those, by the way?
I have two cockatiels.
Oh,
This
cockatiels.
is Pride, and come on, step up. This is King. This was the first bird or pet that I got after the boarding school, and they have helped me out a lot with depression and whatnot.
Very therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Yes.
Very intelligent too. They all have personalities. People think that birds aren't very much to have, that they're just loud, obnoxious, and angry all the time. But no, they can be very cuddly. Um, they are messy,
All
but
right.
they're nice till they bite you.
Have you before we go, have you are you on any type of Agape Facebook page, like for Agape survivors or anything like that?
I am on Agape Survivors. I am on Exposing Agape. And one other one, but I can't think of the name.
Agape homies?
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, check that out. Agape homies.
Okay.
There are a lot of the guys that have been on this podcast are on there. So
Okay.
yeah, and it's a great support system, especially to have people who went through what you went through. You know what I mean?
I talked to a lot of people. Excuse me. A lot of people who have gone to through the boarding school. I talked to one of the captains earlier today, actually. So I'm still in contact with the students from there. I'm friends with multiple people,
Hmm.
and we just don't talk about it. We talk about daily stuff now. Oh,
Yeah.
another good thing about the boarding school, because I know that there's just have been a lot of negatives. you don't have the daily stresses of life there. You can't watch the news. You're not allowed to watch the news, or you don't have to worry about someone getting mad at you for something you've said, or worrying about the cyberbullies and whatnot.
Right.
Have all those stresses. You don't have all that feed to get you down and depressed. So ignorance is bliss. That's a good saying for how it works there.
Yeah, it is. So maybe there are a few positives. Maybe I was
Yeah,
wrong.
but pretty sure they don't outweigh the negatives.
Not by a long shot.
No.
But like I said, George, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it. And
Have a great day.
yep, you take it easy. All right. We'll talk
Bye.
to you later. Bye.